Whiskey America 3 Ocean, WA3O.
WA3O, go.
Yeah, fine business, Jim. I've watched plenty of your videos on YouTube. Good friend of Charlie's. I work Charlie in the morning. K1GZL that you've worked many times, and I've watched you on there. Name here is Mike, Mexico, India, Kilo Echo. The QTH here is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Running an ICOM IC7300. Running just the hand mic, and I'm running about 700 watts from a homebrew LD MOS amplifier, and running that into a switchable wire beam Moxon that's only about 20 feet off the ground. So back to you.
Oh, well, pretty great. Almost excellent. Now, just my personal thing, depending on if you have the capabilities, I would add just a click or two on the top end, but I wouldn't change a thing other than that.
Yeah, I had somebody in there. Yeah, I agree. I just really like how the hand mic, this is the 7300, and of course they all sound great, but the hand mic's not too terrible, not too terrible of a microphone for this radio. So, yeah, fine business. You're doing very well into here, about 20, 25 over. So what's my signal like, Jim? And I'd like to do a real quick test with you. I think I know where you're located. Let me know where you're located. I'd like to do a front-to-back test. I'm tuning my Moxon, and I'm able to switch it very quickly from east to west to see if I have any rejection. So I trimmed some of the harnesses today. I want to see if you see any rejection. Back to you.
Okay, I can't give you an estimator reading because I'm running reduced RF level to stay out of AGC compression. In other words, my RF level is just below AGC compression. So I can't give you a real estimator reading, but I can give you a signal over noise level, since I'm looking at your signal on a VU meter, which is adjusted for 0 level on your voice peaks, and then when you cease speaking, it drops to read the residual noise level, and it dropped so far, I would say probably around minus 15 dB. So that correlates somewhat similar to an S-meter reading, Roger?
Yeah, Roger. I think I've noticed that on your YouTube videos. I've seen a meter there. I think it's similar, but so I'll give you a little test. This is I believe pointed away from you. No, I'm sorry. This is pointed towards you, away from you, away from you, away from you, and towards you, towards you, towards you. You may or may not see any difference, but just curious if you do, Jim. Over.
I did not. I could not hear. There was no audio shift. It was at the same level, and I could not hear any white noise difference. So I would say that there, from where my position to you, that control, I could hear you flipping the button, but there was nothing that coincided with a change at that occasion. I've got one suggestion for you. You're absolutely correct about that hand mic. That hand mic, as I understand it, was specifically designed by Bob Heil for ICOM on location. I think he went overseas for a couple of weeks to do that, and that's very unusual for Bob to be into a condenser electret microphone. His whole career has been based around dynamic microphones. So this is a new arena for Bob, and I think he's done an absolutely great job. The sound of that hand mic, most people just want to jerk that hand mic off and put a desk mic on. Well, as soon as they do, if that's a dynamic microphone desk mic, they're losing about 6 dB top-end articulation when they sub the desk mic for the hand mic. But there's a secret that you have to know about that hand mic. You've got to work it across. You have to put it at the corner of your mouth and talk across it as opposed to into it. Because if you talk into an electret microphone like that, you'll get a lot of mouth noise, transients, and plosives. But if you work across it, it's just absolutely gangbusters.
Yeah, fine business, Jim. That's exactly what I do. For a while, I was listening to myself, and I could hear the breath pops. And for a while, I would get, yes, a clean sock, a tube sock. Yes, it was clean, and I would put it over the mic, and that helped immensely. So, but I've learned to try to stay away from it and talk, like you said, to the corner of this microphone. Well, I've seen here on the S-Meter approximately 2 S units, which is approximately right. With this, I should get I don't know, 10 to 15 dB front to back on this. But it's very, very hard to tell because you're very strong. So, what you got to do is back down the RF gain till you get to S9 or less, and then do very quick switching and looking at the signal very quickly in between the QS Baker. So, I worked Charlie this morning. Charlie's has a cold, and I don't know if you've talked to him recently, but he's battling a little bit of cold and a cough, so maybe that's why he hasn't been on there with you, if that's the case. Back to you, Jim.
Roger, well, Charlie made it this morning, and we did talk for a little bit, and he did tell me about his excursion into ill health, and so hopefully he's on the mend now. It sounds like it. On my receiver, I normally run with a 20 dB pad on, so I've got my ELMER, which is about 3 miles away, and he usually fires up his 50-gallon drum, which is dumping, a bunch. And he doesn't overload, so 20 dB is a nice attenuation. I can copy anybody without any undue distortion. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. What's the equipment that you're running, Jim? I'm not sure of that, and where are you located? I'm not sure. I think Illinois or something like that, but let me know where you're located. Over.
Roger. This is a homebrew condenser microphone into an ARC preamp, into a 3rd octave equalizer, then up to the tabletop for 6-position rotary switch selector, which selects the radio, and a talk button, it's actually a toggle on, toggle off, and right beside that is a little trim pot for the audio mix level, so I can just within inches key and adjust. Everybody's level is different, so I'm constantly writing audio level. But then from there into an older Yaesu 990 that's been pretty heavily modified coming and going, and out of the Yaesu 990 into SB220, and from the SB220 up to an inverted V. Roger.
W2USR.
All right, there's somebody else in there. I'll let you get back to him there. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for the contact. Have a great day, and I'll be checking out the vlog on YouTube in a little while, a couple days, and see if I'm in there. So, all right, thanks a lot for the contact. 73s. I'll let the other station call, and I'll sit here and listen for any more comments. Back to you.
Roger, Mike, 3Z away, and you'll be looking, when you go to YouTube and do the call letter search KC9VKV, you'll be looking for the session called My Group AIRCHECK 11819. My Group AIRCHECK 11819. Go ahead, station.